Hi, this is Trey Pass. Welcome to my spoilers review of Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay, this review is going to have spoilers in it. Okay, I did a review of it without spoilers. Okay, so if you want to watch that video, you can uh, stop this video and go to that one. Okay, but this video again deals with the aftermath of Avengers Endgame. Of course, Tony Stark being of course making the ultimate sacrifice, and of course Peter wants to just the class is going on a field trip to Europe, and he just wants to go on a trip and enjoy his time with his friends, and he doesn't really want to. He even tries to leave the suit at home. He doesn't. He just wants to be a normal 16-year-old teenager and try to tell MJ how he feels about her and let her know that he likes her and stuff. And of course, things don't quite work out that way, the way he wants them to. Okay, basically, Nick Fury is hunting for him, looking for him to help because there's a crisis, and he wants Peter Parker's help, AKA Spider-Man's help, to combat this. And of course, we get introduced to Quentin Beck, AKA Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal in this, and he introduces himself to Peter as a guy from another Earth, introducing the multiverse, saying he's from another Earth, and that these elemental creatures, fire, earth, wind, and I think fire, right, water, and he's basically saying that this creature destroyed his world, okay, but he's here to try to prevent it from happening to this world, to our Earth, okay. So basically, he's after Peter dodges Nick Fury for a while, Nick finally tracks him down and tells him, "Listen, Tony Stark had faith in you. Okay, I need you to, you know, join in on this and help us and help Mysterio combat this and stop this from, wrecking our world." Okay, and he reluctantly agrees. Uh, the great thing about this movie is not only you have the same characters. You have Ned Leeds, you have Flash Thompson, who's still a dick to Peter. You have Ned Leeds, his best friend, who's supportive of him. And I think the great thing, you have Betty Grant in this. Of course, you have MJ played by Zendaya, who plays her character, really sarcastic with and really she has kind of that dry humor. Okay, but it works the way Zendaya plays her. Okay, and then we also have Happy Hogan in this, and we have Marissa Tomei in this is May Parker, and Hot May Parker, who may or may not be dating Happy Hogan, played by John Favreau. Okay, and I thought that those little moments were good with Peter, suspecting, just because, by observing their interactions, something's going on, which I thought was funny the way they play that. Okay, but the really good thing, the thing that really made me, like I said, if read the comics, you know that Mysterio is a master of illusion. Okay, and he's really a bad guy in the comics. I know there might be an alternate version of it that I haven't read about that may be a good guy, but I think the Mysterio that I remember reading comic books growing up and stuff, he was a bad guy. He's a master of illusion, and in this case, he pretends to be a good guy, but in actuality, he's the bad guy in this movie, and he basically wants this tech that actually he helped create. They kind of do a good job of showing kind of like flashbacks of that he worked for Tony Stark at one time, and Tony Stark basically took his tech and created those glasses that he uses which he left for Peter, and Peter after working with Mysterio to combat this thing, and they kind of really put this emphasis on Peter stepping up and being the next superhero, but he really just wants to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and be a kid at the same time. He really doesn't want the grown-up responsibility of being, a full-time hero. Okay, and he reluctantly, after working, and being basically, let's say, being played by Mysterio, he reluctantly gives up that tech to Mysterio, and we find out that this is a big master plan of Mysterio to basically become a big-time hero and to get his tech back, and he doesn't mind killing people to accomplish his goal, which of course makes him the bad guy. But I loved. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. So, like I was saying, what I really liked Jake Gyllenhaal's character was I liked the way they revealed him because I was expecting him to be a bad guy. I thought for a minute they would play straight. They wouldn't make him a bad guy, but then I just thought the way it just the way, let's be honest, the way, the movie was not over yet. So I know there had to be more with his character, and of course, yeah, he did turn out to be, a bad guy who was just playing Nick Fury and Peter and stuff to get his tech back and stuff, and it really, I think Jake Gyllenhaal did a good job as Quentin Beck Mysterio, exactly, because he has this exposition scene where he sits there and explains, about how he and the people he had working with him, to create all these illusions and stuff, how they felt cheated out of stuff. And I thought, usually when the villain, does his monologue, I thought it was really well done because it happened like right after Peter gave him the tech and walked away. And so it just, I say, yep, there he is. He's the bad guy. All right, and I liked it. I liked the way it played out. I thought it was really well done. Okay, and again, this movie I thought was really good again because we had Peter. There was some great, light moments in this when Peter's trying to tell MJ spend some time alone with her, but there's this guy I think named Brad Davis who was a young kid, but when the snap happens, like I said, some people got older, some people didn't. Okay, and because remember it was 5 years, so some people they grew up for 5 years, and the people that disappeared they came back the same age. So this guy became like a hunk, and he was trying to get with Peter, excuse me, not Peter, trying to get with MJ and kind of cop blocking Peter at the same time. And there was a great funny sequence where after he got the glasses from Tony, when he was basically yeah, got misinterpreted when he tried to eliminate Brad as a competition, and the drone strike came to try to basically eliminate him literally. And I thought that was hilarious the way that played out. Okay, and of course Ned, he actually gets a girlfriend, Betty Brant, excuse me. They actually get, when trying to help Peter sit next to MJ on a plane, he actually gets to sit next to Betty Brant, and by the time the plane lands in London, their boyfriend and girlfriend, which I thought was hilarious. Okay, so I think that was good. And the guy that plays Ned Lee's Jacob Batalon, I thought he's just really good. Him and Tom Holland have that good, believable best friend chemistry going for them. And of course, the guy that plays Flash Thompson, he's still a dick. Okay, and he has a lot of funny moments with with him in it, which made me laugh and stuff. And I enjoyed this movie a lot. Again, Nick Fury. I'm always glad to see Nick Fury in these superhero movies. Samuel L. Jackson just, he owns that role. And Maria Hill, Kobe Smith, she was in this as well. So I really like that as well. But again, Zendaya, Zendaya, aka MJ, she did figure out that Peter is aka Spider-Man. I like the way it played out when him trying to explain it to her, and just the way it played out, and her, you could tell that she really liked him. She was, like I said, being sarcastic and stuff, but you could tell that she really, she liked Peter as well. So that to me was believable. That she, and because she was paying attention to, she was paying attention to Peter, even though he thought that maybe she didn't like him, but she actually was paying attention to him. And I thought that Zendaya did a good job with conveying that on the screen. And again, I liked it when Peter finally realized that with the help of MJ that Mysterio was actually a bad guy and he was just using illusions and stuff. And that sequence with him getting this, where Mysterio when he went to I think it was, I forgot what country he went to try to warn Budapest, I think, right, or somewhere to try to warn Nick Fury that Mysterio is really a bad guy, and that whole sequence, that illusion that he put him in was just mind trippy and just fantastic visually, okay, and freaky. And then that part where basically he plays on his guilt about Tony dying, and basically had Iron Man, literally Iron Man coming out of the grave, which I thought was freaky. Okay, that was just that was freaky. But thankfully, these movies, Spider-Man overcame this and got the girl, so it worked out in the end. But this movie, I'm telling you, two things surprised me. There is an after-credit scene, or a mid-credit scene, then an after-credit scene. Okay, the mid-credit scene is we find out that right? Is this? Wait, hold on. or maybe I got it reversed. But I'm just gonna tell you about this because I'm trying to remember the order that it happened. I'm trying to think. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll just tell you about the credit scenes, and you figure it out. The first one was with Peter going out on a, I guess he's going out on a date with MJ, and he's dressed as Spider-Man. He's basically swinging her around the city, and of course, because you see this in the commercial, and she goes, "Never again, never, I never want to do that again." That was hilarious. But then we get actually this the confrontation when he actually defeats Mysterio on the bridge. It was actually being recorded, and he actually, I guess, had a backup plan, and he actually reveals. You get a news report where he's in like Times Square. It comes on on the big Tron, I think by 34th Street, I think it is, and you see the news reporter. I think it's New York One, Channel 8 in New York. But anyway, saying we have this exclusive video, and you basically have Mysterio makes it look like Spider-Man basically murdered him. And of course, we get J. Jonah Jameson, which I thought was hilarious that they got the original actor back from the other movies that played Jonah. He played him here and said Spider-Man's a menace and he's a murderer now and all this stuff. And then Mysterio goes, "I know who Spider-Man is. Peter Parker. Spider-Man is," and then it kind of glitches, and then you think that he's not gonna say it, but then he comes back and he actually reveals it and says, "Peter Parker. Spider-Man is Peter Parker," and right on the big Jumbotron, and MJ's there, and he's there, Spider-Man looking at it, and then it kind of goes off, and then I think that's the mid credit scene, okay, and also I have to say because there was a couple in front of me, I guess, a father and son, and I guess the son wanted to stay for the after credit scene, and the father said, "No, it's just going to be." Norman Osborn. They're just going to reveal Norman Osborn, and he grabbed his son and walked off. So I was waiting for the other after credit scene, and the after credit scene I think is the when you see Maria Hill and Nick Fury driving. I think so. Is that the after credit? Either way, I screwed that up. I might have screwed that up, the order of it, but they're driving in the car, and then all of a sudden you see them transform into Skrulls. Nick Fury and Maria Hill were actually Skrulls in this, and because then we see the Nick Fury, the two, specifically the male Skrull who was in Captain Marvel. You see him, he starts to, I guess, communicate to Nick Fury, and we see Nick Fury is on that ship, the Skrull ship, and you see he's like on, looks like he's on a mini vacation or something. He has this fake background, and then he gets up. And you see him walking through the ship, and then he's like looking for his shoes, and then it kind of goes off like that. So I don't know how long I know people have all kinds of theories about Nick Fury was in that certain spot. So because remember that the Skrull thing happened back in the 80s, I think, or 90s, I think, whenever Captain Marvel took place. So people are wondering, was Nick Fury always Nick Fury? I guess. Maybe they'll clarify it in the next Avengers movie or whatever. But I thought that was weird that you got the guys being the Skrulls. I thought that was an interesting take that they were actually Skrulls and not Nick Fury and Maria Hill, the real one. So so we don't know how long they've been covering for him, or have they covered for him in the past or whatever. So we don't know that. But the more interesting thing to me is is Peter Parker being revealed to the world as being Spider-Man. Okay, I thought that was just, I wasn't expecting that, because I thought for a minute when he was saying it, Quentin Beck, Mysterio, cause I thought it was going to glitch out when he was going to say his name, but because I thought it was just going to leave it as, Spider-Man's a murderer, and then, everybody, Spider-Man's, the cops are looking, cops are looking for Spider-Man for, possibly for murdering Mysterio, but they actually revealed that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, so I don't know how they're going to deal with that going forward, that he's actually been revealed to the world to be, Spider-Man. So, these comic book movies, they can always, have somebody dressed up like Spider-Man and have him in the same spot with Peter Parker, you know, so he'll get out of it some way. I don't think he revealed. It won't be like a Tony Stark situation where he revealed himself to the world as Iron Man. Okay, I think they'll do some way where they'll have Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the same spot at the same time, and then broadcast it to the world so that people think, Mysterio was lying, and Peter Parker, there's no way Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Okay, I think that's what will happen. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. Again, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed this Spider-Man Far From Home. I can't wait to see Tom Holland again as Spider-Man. Hopefully he's in the next Avengers movie whenever they make it, because I think he's perfect. So I just absolutely love this movie, and I can't get enough of it. Anyway, let me know what you think of Spider-Man Far From Home. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. I have links to my social media in the description box, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. Also have a link to my other channel, on Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trade Pastor saying so long and take care.